today is an opportunity for you to learn about our Students' Union and what our Students' Union can offer you as a student here at Staffordshire University. And we've got the best people to give us that advice. So we're joined by two of our Students' Union officers who also, as part of being an officer, are also students at Staffordshire University as well. So they've got both best of both worlds in this. So we've got the opportunity to ask them a lot of questions. Now, some of you also submitted some questions before today's webinar, so I will also make sure that we get those answered as we go through. But if you do have any questions at any point, please feel free to drop those questions into the chat. All I ask is that you make sure that your questions are not personal, so we can't talk about any particular cases today, so please don't ask about in terms of your application process or your offer or anything along those lines. If you have any questions in relation to your personal circumstances, I will drop the email for my team in the chat, so please feel free to contact us at any point in regards to that. So today we're just going to keep it nice and general and learning about the experience of the Students' Union at Staffordshire University. So, as I say, we're joined by two of our officers today. So we have Olayemi and we also have Joseph. And I'm going to start off with Joseph. Please, can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself as well as the course that you were studying at Staff's Uni, and anything else that maybe a fun little fact or something that you fancy.
My name's Joseph Knight. I'm one of the current vice presidents of the Students' Union. Whilst I was at Staffordshire University, I studied their games design course. I just actually graduated from that the year I became officer. I had a great time. I studied at the university's London campus actually, which is where I'm doing this seminar from today. Any fun facts about me? I suppose fun fact is that I'm actually very into playing instruments, but I don't ever play in front of people. I've learned guitar for about 12 years and haven't ever shown anyone from the student union before, ever. But yeah, that's it from me.
Fantastic, that's great. Now we're going to pick up in terms of your London knowledge there a little bit later, so we'll keep that one there. Olayemi, please can you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Olayemi Ajiteru and I'm the president of the Student Union at Staffordshire University. I am an international student from Nigeria and I'm still on my master's in cybersecurity. So I finished my first semester and I became an officer in that period. So I'm on sabbatical at the moment and I'll be going back to class after my 1-year term as the president of the Students' Union. And yeah, what do I like to do? I like to sing. Yeah, and I like to press my system also. So just try and study politics and finance and all of those things. So those are my area of interest. Yeah.
Fantastic. It's great to hear we've got two very musical people with us today. So that's right. Unfortunately, I have no musical talents. My siblings took all of those skills from me. So I don't have any of those, but that's great. So please can I ask, I don't mind which either of you, can you tell us a little bit about the Students' Union in general, just like a quick overview, and how that can add to the experience of a student studying at Staffs?
I suppose I'll answer this one. So the Students' Union is a charity that's separate from the university, but works closely with the university in order to ensure the best student experience for all the students attending. We provide a representative voice structure for all students, including course reps, subject reps, and then also the 4 elected officers at the end of the year, such as yourself, to make sure that if you have any feedback on your course or anything of the like, that it reaches the appropriate voices and actions are taken. In addition to doing a representative structure, we also offer, we have our advice service, which can provide you with financial advice, course, complaints related advice. It can provide you with any guidance regarding any issues that you're having currently. We also provide societies, which are groups that you can join during your time at university. If there's a specific niche or a group that you want to be a part of, whether it be a board game or card game society, or whether you want to be a part of our Islamic society that we have here at Staffs. We have the African Caribbean Society as well. There's a cheerleading society. The list goes on from pretty much all aspects you can think of. If not, if your specific niche is in there, then you could start one yourself. I started one whilst I was studying at the university that's still going now. And we also, predominantly up in Stoke, we also have our student union shops and services, including our own club night venues, our own bars, coffee shop, and corner shops that are all run by the student union. Olayemi, if there's anything I've missed out there, feel free to jump in.
I think you've summarized everything well. Yeah, most importantly, we're here to represent student interests, and that's what we do on a daily basis. All your concerns, all your queries, the Student Union is here to pick it up on your behalf and relate it with the university. And also we give advice and ensure that you have a very, very smooth academic experience while you're on campus. So I think Joseph gave a very, very detailed and succinct summary of everything we do in the Student Union.
Thank you very much, both. So as you will have heard there, guys, the Students' Union is really broad in terms of what it can offer for you as a student. And one of the key things is, as Olayemi pointed out there, is that representation point of view. So can I ask Olayemi, I'll start with you here, why did you choose to go right to the top of that and really show how much you wanted to represent the university and actually want to become a student union officer?
Yes, I think the main reason being that I want to do what exactly the Student Union is meant to do. So when I came into the uni I resumed February as a January student, first week of February, I saw that the Student Union exists, and I saw that we have a very large number of international students on campus. So I felt like, okay, it makes sense to represent this very large number of international students on campus as a student union officer. So I ran and got elected in April, that's in the 3rd month when the election was holding. So I felt like, yeah, let us have a representative as an international community in the larger student body. So I campaigned to them. I told them my manifesto. This is what I want to do. I want us to be seen in the university. Aside representing the international community, yes, I would also represent the broader university community, but then I'm standing first as an international student. So then people supported me. So I think I wanted to represent and let us have a voice as an international community. And yes, we've been able to do that in the past few months that I've been an officer.
Fantastic, thank you. Joseph, can you just tell us a little bit about how you go about being a Students' Union officer? So obviously, Olayemi mentioned there, you know, he created a manifesto and all those sorts of things, because it's the students, isn't it, that are actually the ones that make the decision of who it is that is going to represent them.
Yeah, definitely. So my case, when I got elected, was a little bit different than most. I felt that we weren't being represented to the best of our ability down here in London. So I made my manifesto. I focused it around London. I found what sort of area I wanted to help on. I did know that, you know, as a student union officer, you're here for the entire university. But I saw problems I wanted to fix. I saw students having issues, and I wanted to help. And so I managed to get a 43% voter turnout rate for London. And it's a very small campus. It's only about 400-ish people. But even that was enough to get a candidate elected from London. So I think it's becoming a student union officer is you have to be sort of passionate about something you want to see changed, and then finding out how many people think the same as you about things that want to be changed, and then addressing it pretty much. Ever since I've become an officer, there's been a lot of changes made to my campus. Also, I've been helping the broader university as a whole in regards to creating new policies, creating new staff guidance, running more events, because I felt that our facilities somewhat were underutilized, and now I'm trying to build them up more and more to create more opportunities for students to engage with other students and companies and industries and whatnot. Like before this, for example, we just put on a extended Eid event down here in London, because unlike Stoke, you don't have people living on campus. So we felt like we should put on an event when everyone's on campus, so that people come and have fun. So my fingers are still a little bit chalky from playing with a carom board, I think it's called, which was fun. I didn't get the worst time, which was interesting. But yeah, you get involved in a wide variety of things as an officer and meet so many people, and yeah, that's how sort of what you want to do is meet as many people and represent as many people as possible. Sorry if I went on
Fantastic.
for a bit there.
No, that's absolutely perfect. That's fantastic. So, and I'm right in saying that any student can run, can't they? And they can run, is it for a maximum of 2 years? Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And you can either, obviously both of you've done it differently. So Joseph, you've finished your degree and then you've gone on to do it, and Olayemi, you've done it in the middle essentially of your
Yeah.
degree. So and that's the same, that any student can do it in that way, whatever works for them.
Yes.
Obviously subject to them being voted for by the student body and going forward, but that's the options there. And it also shows that even if you're on a student visa, you can still work as a sabbatical officer as well. Olayemi, would you be able to tell me a little bit about that in terms of how that's impacted yourself, being an international student?
Yes. So I was going butt in to that. So as an international student, whether you're an international student or a home student, you can be a sabbatical officer. So as an international student, this is how it works. Take, for example, a master student who resume by September. I would like to give practical examples so that people can understand me very well. So if you resume in September, you would probably run through your first semester, maybe by the time the election would be holding in April, or your first and second semester. So after that semester, you would be writing your dissertation when you would resume as an officer in July. So you would have to pause your dissertation and do your 1 year as an officer, or do your 2 years as an officer. Then when you're done with your officer role, you go back to class. The student union officer role is a full-time job. Though it's a full-time job on your student visa. This is specifically for international students. It's a full-time job. Joseph does not need a visa, so he can just but for an international student, it's a full-time job on your student visa. So you don't need to go to your PSW or get sponsored again. It is a legal obligation that has been recognized by the UKVI and all of that. So as a sabbatical officer, you're on your student visa and you can be a sabbatical officer. So if you resume in January, you would finish your first semester by the time you hold the election, and the election would hold and you resume in July, and you have to pause your second semester and your dissertation period. Then when you're done with your 2 years time, you go back to your class. Nothing is going to happen to your visa. The university will extend your visa for you, and luckily the student union would also pay for your visa, so that makes it make sense. And also, if you don't want to do it in between your course of study, you can also finish your dissertation. Let's say you resume last January, you're currently writing your dissertation now, and our election will be happening in the next 1 week, I guess. Yes, the election is holding next week. So you would currently be writing your dissertation, you host the election, you would be done with your dissertation by the time you would resume office in July, because you would be resuming in July. So you'll be done with your dissertation, you will be done with your graduation, but you are still on a student visa. So they would extend your student visa. You wouldn't go to a PSW. They would extend your student visa for you because you got elected as a student. So they would extend your student visa, and you will do your 1 year or 2 year term as an officer on your student visa. Then when you're done with your student visa, you now go to your PSW. So you've got extra 4 years to work full time with your PSW if you do it after your degree, but you will still be on a student visa when you would resume. So for me, I have just done a 1 term, and I felt like I have done my part and I've done my best, and I just want to go back to class. So I'm not running in the upcoming leadership race election that's holding in the next couple of days.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for explaining that there. So that obviously shows one of the key areas, you can represent the university, by being the top of the representation sort of tier, if you will. And as that, it is a full-time job. So that is one way, working with the student union, you can obviously work. And obviously there's only 4 of you. So how else can the students union help in terms of from employment skills and jobs that are available for students on campus that the Students' Union can help and offer? Joseph, can I direct that one at you, please?
Okay, so that's an interesting question. So in terms of employability, the Students' Union, how do I put this? In an officer role specifically, it's a great thing to sort of have on your CV. It's a great, how do I put it? It shows the sort of leadership skills, the team working skills, you can keep yourself to a schedule. It shows a lot of uh it reflects a lot on your character when you go to a business and you show, oh, I worked as a student union officer, or you can also say I was a trustee of a charity worth over £3 million, and then it'll be like, wow, that's crazy. Also, in terms of student union, we also try to help run events that can have industry people in them, so people can network and talk to people in the industry, and really sort of rub shoulders with, how do I put it, the sort of, yeah, if I'm putting it in games design terms, because that's what I'm familiar with, you can rub shoulders with people at like the head of a publishing company, or an indie game studio who's just happens to be looking for what you're aiming for, if that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. I think the other thing that I wanted, it's partly my fault, I didn't phrase the question very well, but in terms of another option, the Students' Union, all of the events and the venues that you have, they are also run by students, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they, as terms of a part-time job, the Students' Union can also offer students that in terms of working at the nightclub venue that you mentioned, the cafe, and those sorts of things. Is that correct?
Yeah, we currently employ over 100 students, I believe,
Yeah.
across all of our venues and shops and cafes and everything, where you can work your way up from, from there's room to move, whether you're a senior staff member or a lower entry level staff member.
Yeah.
But a lot of students do work at our university. You can apply for them over the summer, I believe, before you enroll is when we're hiring.
Yeah, fantastic. And I can speak from personal experience. So I myself was also a student at Staffs. I'm obviously a member of staff now, but I was also a member, a student, as I say, and I actually worked at the Ember Lounge in the pub. And that is something that as we said there, that you can do. So the Students' Union does have options for you to work on campus. And obviously what's really great about working on campus is that and also for the Students' Union, is you're putting back into the experience of other students, but also they understand that you're a student first. So they're very flexible in terms of that, and all of what comes with being a student. So that's definitely something to look into. And as Joseph said there, look into when the jobs come out, so you can apply for them over the summer if you do plan on working part-time whilst you are a student at Staffs as well. And there's a few different roles and different venues that you can work at, particularly mainly at the Stoke campus, if you guys wanted to do that.
Yeah, just to add that.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, just to add that we recruit annually in August, and like you said, we've got flexible hours that support student studies a whole lot. We try to fix your duties and your time into your timetable, so we ensure that it is flexible for you and it is convenient for you. And we've got very, very amazing and friendly colleagues and managers in the Student Union. So when we recruit in large numbers. Like Joseph said, we have over 150 staff, union team members who are students. So the shop, the bars, our club night event, everything is being run by students.
Yeah, so as you say, lots of options in terms of from jobs and skills and improving in that sense. So let's switch this slightly and see and talk about a thing. Oh, I do apologise, my dog in the background, working from home. So the Students' Union obviously also helps massively in terms of the student experience. And Joseph mentioned when he gave us that lovely overview of the what the Students' Union offers about clubs and societies, and also that you set up one yourself. Could one of you tell us a little bit more about how the clubs and societies work, and if they're open to everyone, how you join them, and like you say, you mentioned that you can start your own one, how sort of that works as well?
Joseph, are you going to answer that, or should I go ahead?
Yeah, sure, I can answer it, I suppose. So in terms of clubs and societies, we have a list on our uni webs page, so just staffsunion.com. Any student is able to join any society. A society can choose whether they want to have a membership fee or not to give you access to certain features. There's if you want to start a society, all you need is yourself and two other students to be the 3 committee members for your society. Each of them has their own separate roles, so like a finance manager, a communications manager, and I think an overall society lead are the 3 core ones that a society tends to need. Yeah, and societies have access to any of our facilities really within reason for events. You can just, if you want to use a certain games app, just go and ask the correct people, and usually if there's nothing going on, they'll allow you to run an event. For example, we do the Global Games Jam at our university through our Game Development Society. And it's not just about how do I put it? It's not always just about fun and game societies. For example, I mentioned that there's different religious societies. There's the African Caribbean Society. It can be about whether it just be interacting with like-minded people if you want to go out and socialize and feel safe or anything. All societies are accessible to anyone who wants to join, really.
Fantastic. And can you tell Olayemi, can you tell us a little bit about how Welcome Week and when students start in September, how that can be really good in terms of to learn about all the different clubs and societies that the union has to offer?
Yeah, during Welcome Week, we always have an opportunity for all these clubs and societies to showcase themselves in a fair. There's always a fair where they introduce to students what they do, and students can look around. They will always have a stand. Every clubs and society have a stand in the cat list or at the LRV. Then they tell students what they do in their various clubs and society. Students can easily ask questions if they attend the fair, and if it interests you, you can join. And if you feel like you're not seeing, like Joseph said, you're not seeing the one you want, or you don't like any of the stuff that they do, on our webpage, you can easily go to staffsunion.com, get involved. There's a form where you create your own club or society. They ask you some very, very easy and simple questions, and you would sure bring together like minds who are also interested in what you want to create, and you can easily create one and go ahead with it. So it's important to, it's very, very yeah, it's very important to attend this fair, so at least you can see what the union has to offer in terms of clubs and societies. And there are various kind of clubs that interest students, various kind of clubs, from Coving Society to LGBTQ to American football, cheerleading, basketball, badminton, Christian society, computing society, STEM society, parent and carers, cop shop. All of those societies, a lot of societies and club exist that you can join. So it will be very hard for somebody not to find something that interests them in all of this.
And clubs and societies really add to that kind of experience as a student, don't they? So obviously you're coming to study, that is the main thing. But also, some of you guys are going to be moving a really long way from home. And these clubs and societies can help, create staffs to be your new home and have the opportunity to meet lots of new friends from different backgrounds, from different cultures, all sorts of things, but you all find that commonality of whatever that club or society is. And as we've said, you can try them, you can see if you like them. You're not tied to them. This is for you to be able to find the best version of you and have fun alongside your studies. Some of them, obviously, they relate more to the academic side, don't they? So they can help with your career progression, if you will, and some are purely just fun. For you to give something a go. I know when I was a student, it's not a society anymore, I don't believe, but I started fencing just because, why not? A bit strange, but it was good fun. And obviously you've got lots of different things that you can get involved in. Are either of you, Joseph, you mentioned that you started a society. What society was that you started?
So the society I started was called, or still is called, Water Top Deck. It's a card game and tabletop game society. Some of the things we've done include weekly poker nights. We've run different larger tournaments for some more well-known trading card games. So in my first year of the society, we ran a Yu-Gi-Oh! Regional tournament and partnered with a card store in London that had, so we ended up with 118 players, I think, for that one. And then the next year we did a game for, what is it? A game called Card Fight Vanguard, which had players coming in from all over Europe and had like 100+ players again. And we won the society event of the year for that. Because I don't know if you're going to mention it later, we have like an award ceremony at the end of the year where we present societies with different awards and different course reps with different awards and everything like that, just to recognize the hard work everyone puts in.
Yeah, that's great. So actually from that, I was going to mention about, I should have mentioned this previously and I forgot on my list, but you've just reminded me. So you mentioned there, obviously, course representation. So you guys are obviously, as we said, you're representing the whole student body. How can students help on a smaller level in terms of representing their course or other students that like themselves? How does that work to then feed back into the Students' Union and the representation from that point of view?
Okay, so we have like an academic representation map, which at the top of it are sabbatical officers. That's the 4 officers. I as the president and 3 or the vice presidents, where we attend high-level board committee meetings on the institution and all of those things. Then we have departmental rep who are just a little bit below us, and we also have course reps. So this course rep speak to students on their course. They are the closest to their classmates, so they speak to their course, and they also attend course committee meetings. So we ensure that all our students participate in activities that are happening on the course, not just speaking to the students. They can influence what's happening in their course committee meetings by relating to their lecturers and head of departments and all of that. So they make the most immediate impact to students. Then we have the departmental reps. This one's liaise with officers, and they also liaise with their course reps. So they also sit on something like school academic committee. So they also make like immediate impact. So all of these ones now report down to the sabbatical officers. But this is how it used to be before now. But in the coming election, we have changed these 2 roles to now become subject reps because of the new school restructuring. You know, we now have 2 schools from previous about 4 schools. So we have changed this to subject reps. So we have about 48 subject reps who would be elected in the coming leadership race. So these subject reps would relate more with their students, sit on course monitoring, sit on school academic committee meetings, and feed back to the officers. We also have like a rep council where we do meetings, and these reps also checkmate what we do as officers and board of trustee members, and we report back to them. So they're like the closest to students. When we can't see students, they can see students, and they see us and talk to us as officers, and we relate it to the larger university community and ensure that the change that they want to have a very good academic experience on campus is being effected.
Fantastic. And they can change things such as, examination types for things, can't they? If there's a particular, say, there's not a very good relationship maybe with a particular academic, or they're not getting feedback in time, those are all the things that the
Yes.
subject reps have power to
To
change and do.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then the other side, I guess, is the volunteering side. So, and am I correct in saying that the volunteering also feeds into that award ceremony you have in terms of the number of hours people complete in terms of volunteering? Is that correct?
We have an engagement. We have an engagement team in the university that handles volunteering, and we have I think about a month or 2 ago we had the volunteering week. So we have organizations who come to the universities and tell us that they need volunteers, and we have students who have shown interest into wanting to volunteer, and we send them to most of these organizations. Like the cop shop recently, they went around campus and picked pieces and picked deaths around the university and the wider community, sheltering wider community. So that's some kind of volunteering. And we used to have volunteering with the union, some students who show interest, and some activities of the union, so they volunteer. And if you also have something where you want to do the university as a whole also support this with the Student Success Fund. So all of this.
Fantastic, thank you. So can we now talk about the support that the students can get from the Students' Union? So here I'm thinking if you could tell us a little bit about the Advice Centre, maybe from an accommodation point of view, Green Pad, and maybe the food bank. Would you be able to tell us a little bit about those?
Okay. Yes, as part of our role in the Student Union, academic representation, advice, student voice. Advice is actually one of our very big and most efficient team in the in the Student Union. So we've got the food hub, and the food hub was I think it was set up in, I can't remember the particular year now, but we have students and staff who donate stuff to the food hub, and we give out food. But now I think we give out more of food vouchers for students who are in it. So you book an appointment with the Students Union Advice team. One of our advisors will talk to you, and you tell them what exactly it is that you want on it, and they would give you a food voucher to support you at that particular time, to last you for a period of time before you sort yourself. So we do have this, and we also on most occasions signpost our students to most of the charities around Stoke, where we can easily tell them to go there, and they will tell them, okay, I'm from the Student Union, and you would easily get something in most of these charities that we have partnered with. So that's how the food hub works. So we have free food vouchers for students who are in need. When they come to the Student Union, they would surely find something. I can't remember the exact figure now, but we've had a very, very huge spike in the number of persons who have come to request for food vouchers in the last couple of months. So this was
But it's
reported
good to
back
know
me.
that you guys offer that support should any of these
Yes.
students
Yes,
need
we
that.
offer the support. Yes. And to your second question, sorry, remind me.
Sorry, tell us a little bit about GreenPad and how GreenPad can
Okay.
help from an accommodation point of view. And Joseph, if you could also help in terms of from a London perspective, I'm not sure if you're able to mention something from accommodation at that point, that would be great too.
Yes, we've got Green Pad, which is a letting agent, and it is being supported by the Student Union, or we serve as a letting agent as a whole. So we offer, with the help of our advice team, we might be able to offer housing help and advice. Maybe you get a contract from your landlord outside. You can be, the Green Pad team can help you review your contract to see that yes, you are getting a good deal and you're not signing something you shouldn't be signing. And like I said, we are a letting agent. We also have houses that has been brought to Green Pad. Students can easily get speak to Green Pad agents. They will help you find an accommodation, and it makes it easy for you because it is the university. It makes it easy for you to get an accommodation before you arrive. They will make sure that everything is sorted for you. So that's basically what Green Pad does. They help with accommodation and letting around Stoke-on-Trent.
So I suppose I'll just jump in quickly from a London perspective as well. So I'll just quickly mention we also do have advisors from the Student Union on both the London and Stafford campuses. Just so you know, if you need someone face to face, that is available. In terms of housing, in London, we don't the student union isn't don't specifically offer housing advice because the university is partnered with other private student accommodation agencies in London. So for example, affordable accommodation for students, or AA4S, is one that we're partnered with. Also partnered with another one called Londonist. We can also give advice as to, you know, if a student is looking to rent a room, for example, and spare room, something's come up, then we can provide advice about where to go or what to do regarding that. But yeah, it's a bit different in Stoke because we don't have that sort of on-campus dorms and whatnot that we can't give or let out. We have to sort of work with the facilities that are in the area and build connections with other companies.
But again, it's great that you actively support students in making sure that, you know, they have that accommodation needed there for them. And like you say, if they find a spare room somewhere and they need their contract checking or stuff, you've got those face-to-face advisors that can support them with checking those in the London campus as well. And it's similar with Stafford as well, as if we've got any students joining us today that's going to be studying in Stafford. So I am conscious of the time, so I think we've covered an awful lot so far. I just wanted to open up basically to our offer holders that have joined us today and just ask if you guys have any particular questions that you want to ask our officers today. You're welcome to put the questions in the chat, or if you would like to put your microphone on, please just raise your hand and then we can put your microphone on one at a time just to make sure that we can hear everyone okay. So if you do have any questions, please feel free, like I say, to pop in the chat or raise your hand if you want to use your microphone. Again, just to say, we can't talk about anything personal today, so personal circumstances. So these are questions in relation to the Students' Union. So just while I give you a few minutes to have a think about that, I just wanted to ask both of you guys, please can you tell us what is either your proudest moment as a Students' Union officer, or something that an experience that you've experienced that was really enjoyable for you as either an officer or as a student at Staff's Uni? Let's start with Joseph.
Okay, that's a really interesting question. So, I think honestly, my favorite memory was probably election night. Um, it was because I'm in London. It was everyone pretty much voting for the same person. The atmosphere was great. We live streamed it simultaneously with Stoke. Everything was just really amazing because yeah, I think that's probably like the biggest thing because a lot of the things that I enjoy in this role are the very like small things, like the little daily wins that you get from interacting with students. So whether it be a student has a issue because but they have a course complaint, you go, you address it, you fix it, and you make all the students' experiences better. Or whether it be an issue like, for example, we had two students who were being marked late because they had to attend Jumma prayer on Friday. And we just were like, "Well, they're not supposed to be marked late for attending that. Why are you doing that?" So we had a discussion with the course leads, cleared everything up, and now, everything's fine. The course leads are doing everything by the book and correctly, and it's little wins like that where you can improve the student's experience and you can actually visually see, your campus and the people around you. You can see their experience get better and better the more and more you help and you contribute.
I love that. Thank you. Olayemi, can I ask
Yeah,
same questions to you, please?
I think it's almost same with me. I think those daily wins that you get when you help students solve issues and you see the joy and happiness on the student face that they they are they are okay with what you've done for them. And I think that's the main reason why we have contested to be in this position so that we can be able to help students solve their various issues and concerns. There are various and series of issues that students have brought forward to Students' Union, to me as the president, to us as officers as a whole. And we have tried our best to help them resolve it. And after, we're always very happy. And we've been able to also implement some changes in the university community as a whole. Those are proud moments for me, to be honest. We bring up issues that they have no choice than to listen to you. That's the executive, the university, because they believe and they know that you are the voice of the students, and you're trying to say what the students want. So those are very, very very proud moments for me. And also it's an opportunity, being in this position, it's an opportunity to learn and develop yourself personally. The highest board in the university is the board of governors of the university, and I sit on that board of governors alongside an officer. So I don't think a random student will sit on the board of governors of the university. So it's a beautiful thing that as an officer you have the opportunity to go to the top places. Those are, and when you drop opinions and you respond to issues in those meetings and you give feedback and you're proud of yourself that, yeah, I've been able to do this, I've been able to do this, I've been able to do that, I've been able to implement this change. So very a lot of beautiful moments in the role, a whole lot of it. You'll be proud of yourself every day.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, both of you. And it's so nice to hear, that you feel good about, the changes that you're making for current students. So we do just have one question there, which I think I will pop the email address for you to contact in regards if you've got queries about before attending Welcome Week. So I'll pop the email address in there in a moment. I've also, and just sharing the Students' Union website in the chat. So please go and have a look at their website and you can see all the things that we've discussed today. I think my final thing that I want to just say is obviously we've mentioned about the leadership race. So that is coming up very soon. And when is it that the 4 new officers that will be announced? When is that going to be announced, Joseph? Do you know?
So the voting takes place from the 22nd of April to the 25th of April, and then the award tonight is where the officers are shown, which is on the 26th. The officers don't take place in their role, however, until the last week of June, where they have a handover with the previous officers and training for a week, and then they properly fully start their role in the 1st of July or the first week of July.
Great. Okay, so everyone, we want you to keep an eye on 26th of April to see who will be the officers that will be in place when you'll be starting with us at Staffs. I know Joseph's running, so he might be there again. Obviously, Olayemi has mentioned that he won't be your officer next year, but keep an eye on the Students' Union website. Like they say, they live stream the awards to see who gets the roles for that night. So keep an eye on that. I hope you have found today's session really helpful to learn about the additional stuff that goes on at the university to help with your experience while you're here. Is there, before we call it to a close, is there anything either of you guys would like to mention or say at all? No pressure. Don't feel like you have to.
Well, one thing that I will say is that even if you are only staying here for example, for a year to do a master's course, or whether you're staying here for an undergraduate degree for 3 years, get involved with the Students' Union as fast as possible, really. The earlier you start or you join a society, I know they have a whole fair for societies during Welcome Week. That means the more events you'll be able to attend, the more people you can interact with, the more fun you can have, the more connections you can build. And yeah, my only regret is not getting involved in starting a society sooner, I think, really.
I like that. That's fab. So yeah, get involved. Olayemi, is there anything that you want to add? Oh, you're on mute,
You're
lovely.
muted.
Sorry. Teams.
Nothing really to say that it's important to get involved. Aside from even the university, get involved in the happenings of the community, the Staffordshire and Stoke community at large. Yeah, I participate a lot in things happening in the Staffordshire Council and the Stoke Council. So it is important to get involved. Getting involved will open doors for you. Yeah, so it is
Fantastic.
important to get involved.
That's great. Well, thank you ever so much, both of you again, for taking time to chat to us. As just a final thing, so like I said, I've popped the Students' Union website in there for you to have a look at. It's also got all of their contact details if you want to contact anybody in there, or any of the advice centres or anything at all. And I've also put the international recruitment email, which is under my team. So if you send that email with any questions that you have relating to, I can see Ramindi's put in there in terms of about accepting an offer, please send us an email and we'll be able to help you with that. Or you can drop us a message on the Campus Connect app as well, and we're happy to help. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. Olayemi,
yeah.
yes.
Somebody has asked about if the school have a student bus, but maybe we don't.
Okay.
I don't think there is a student bus around Stoke-on-Trent, but if you're studying in Stafford campus, there's a bus that goes from, at particular time, that goes from the Stoke-on-Trent campus to the Stafford campus. But for movement around Stoke-on-Trent and London, I think you would have to use the public bus, which are quite cheaper. There are a lot of these students, discounts available. And if you're moving from Stoke to Stafford and you don't want to use the bus, or you're moving from Stoke to London, there's also a rail card which you can get, and it gives you discounts to go through from these locations. So there's no free bus card, but there's a discount card for students by the council.
But in terms of a campus at Stoke-on-Trent, and so if we think about all the campuses individually, they're all very close together. You know, you can get absolutely everything. So if you live on campus or near campus in regards to London or Stafford, you can get to everything that you really needed in walking distance as well. So that's just to be aware of that. Sorry, Joseph, did you want to say something?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say that in London, if you're at Stratford train station, there is a free Here East bus that takes you to the campus from Stratford. But yeah, it's also within walking distance, like about a 20-minute walk from Stratford. But yeah, I just thought I should mention that there is a service that is operational in London. Jeez.
Yeah. So there's certain instances, yes, there are things where you can have like the free shuttle between Stoke and Stafford campus, but that's not relevant for everybody. And again, the shuttle bus from Stratford to the London campus is there as well. So as you'll have seen, Joseph just fell off the edge of the earth there. His laptop died. So I think that is perfect timing for us to call the end of our session. Oh, he's managed to come back on his phone. Technology. So thank you very much, everybody. And as I say, if you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with us. And thank you so much to both of you for joining us today. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day wherever you are. And we will see you at our next live session very soon. And we'll be hosting some different people from around the university. But thank you very much for you guys from the Students' Union today. And we'll see you guys soon. No, thank you. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.